What's going on, you guys? Keith Carnes here, and today I am reviewing none other than Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PS3. Now, this is the collector's edition steelbook if it doesn't look familiar, and you actually have the game. This is what came with the special and collector's editions of the game. So just wanted to show you guys I actually have the game. If you're a subscriber, you saw my unboxing, yeah, no idea. Anyway, regardless of the guys, let's get on with the review. Alright, you guys, so before I start this video, I just want to explain to everybody that, straight up, I think that I really shouldn't say this right away, but I don't want people to think this is going to be a hate video, because what I did was I made 10 things I liked about Grand Theft Auto 5 and 10 things I didn't like about Grand Theft Auto 5. So I thought I would start out with the good first and end it with the bad, or maybe I should start the bad first and end it with the good. Actually, you know what? We'll end it with the good first, so we'll end up on a quote high note, and then I'll tell you my overall rating of the game, because I completed the story mode, so I can officially review the game fully. So remember that there could be possibly spoilers, but I probably won't really talk about too many things that give away anything, really, because I'm not going to go over the story in detail. It was a great story, I'll say that much. Anyway, let's start with the cons. Number one I wrote is fast bikes and ATVs are annoyingly hard to control. Now, this is a big thing that I've noticed a lot of other people that have played Grand Theft Auto 5 have also noticed. And I know exactly where Rockstar got this. Rockstar really went back in time, you know, figuratively, with GTA 5, and what they did with it was they took a lot of the car mechanics and the driving mechanics, and they took it from a past game that they did called Midnight Club LA. Now, I had this on the Xbox 360, and I played the shit out of it. I love the game for its time. It's a horrible game now because it's just dated. And the thing I really noticed was when you drove motorcycles in Midnight Club LA, they were really awkward to drive. The turning was so sharp, it was annoying, and that's exactly the problem we have in GTA 5 with what they call rice rockets. When you get on a really fast motorcycle, it turns really sharp, and it takes getting used to, but you never really truly get used to it, and it just actually find myself at times when I'm on a fast motorcycle just saying, oh, fuck this. Or ATV, fuck this thing, I'm just going to go get a car. It's easier to turn. So that's my first, I don't really care for it. Moving on to number two. Now, number two on my list is not able to buy actual houses. Now, this is something that Rockstar was really making it seem was possible. They always said you can buy properties, you can buy properties, you can buy properties. Now, this is a big part of the thing that they use to promote their game. Now, I'm not necessarily calling Rockstar a liar, because Rockstar never actually did say you can buy houses straight out, but they made it seem like you could. And I'm saying buy houses because I'd like to have more garages to store my vehicles. So unless I'm missing something, you only get a garage, the houses that they come in, and that's it. And you can only store like maybe 2 at the house garage, and then you 4 in there. So you can only store 6 cars in total for each character, which is actually pretty disappointing, seeing that there's a lot more than just 6 cars that I personally want to store. So I really hope they come out with a patch, or maybe the online allows you to have more storage. From what I've seen, it does. So I don't know. Maybe someday they'll fix that somehow. Number 3 is low health proves annoying, and hard. Now, this is probably the most thing I didn't like about Grand Theft Auto 5. And I knew it when I was watching leaked gameplay, was that the health is really, really stingy. And what I mean by stingy is you have a very limited supply of health. Even when you get armor, you still seem to die pretty quick. The cops are pretty badass in this game. They don't fuck around like they have in any prior GTA title, which is good. I like more realistic cops who actually really try to fucking murder you. But, you know, if they're going to make them a lot harder, which they did, they should have definitely given you a better chance against them, I guess you could say. Number 4, tank is too easy for the cops to kill. Now, I bought the tank for Trevor after I beat the game. I paid $3 million for a military tank, and it always respawns no matter where you leave it, anything. It always respawns at his hangar. So I decided to go ahead and take it out and see how it stacked up against Saints Row the 3rd's tank. Now, I will definitely say the physics of Saints Row the 3rd was better, because when you ran over cars in Saints Row, it flattened them flat. And I was really hoping Rockstar would have tackled that, which they really didn't. What they did was pretty much, it was a classic tank like from San Andreas, where you would just hit a car and it'd explode. It would flatten some cars, though. I will give it that. And really overall, the tank just died really quick. When I was running from the cops, they took me out way faster than I thought they'd be able to. So hopefully Rockstar will maybe give the tank a little bit of a buff and a patch or something. Number 5, you stay wanted on 1 star for way too long. Now this is another one that really annoys me when I play the game on a, when I'm playing the game on a daily basis, is that the rule of thumb when playing GTA 5, so to speak, or any GTA, is that you're going to be wanted at least 100 million times during your session, and usually it's only on 1 star, and then you lose them, you move on. Well, in this game, when you're wanted for 1 star, I have found times when I thought they were off of me, and then I bump into a cop, and he comes after me again. Like, I don't hit him, but I get his point of view, and he's after me. I'm like, whoa, they're still trying to get me? What the hell's going on here? So I think that Rockstar really needs to turn that down a little bit, the wanted thing, because, I mean, come on, 1 star and I'm wanted for more than, like, real time, more than 2 minutes, that's ridiculous. Number 6, they changed Grove Street way too much. Now, this is kind of a petty complaint. Now, next up, guys, they changed Grove Street a little too much, as I said before. I decided to cut the video to whatever. I think that they just changed Grove Street a bit too much. I mean, well, way too much. It doesn't look anything the same. None of the same houses are there. Everything's different. Ryder's house is different. Sweet's house is different. Carl Johnson's house is completely different. CJ's house, It's like, why would you take an iconic cul-de-sac and completely change it to the point where it's not even recognizable to fans that have been playing your games like me since, like, the first GTA. Now, I've been playing since GTA 3, but I kind of consider that as being, kind of a senior fan. And the fact that they actually took out a big part of what made San Andreas so recognizable, is CJ's place. I mean, a lot of people couldn't wait to see it in this game, and the fact that they actually took out all the houses and it doesn't even look the same is really, really kind of fucked up on Rockstar's part. And the 7th thing I have to complain about is an enemy gang now owns Grove Street. So now, whenever you go to Grove Street, whether you're Franklin, Trevor, or Michael, I've tried all 3, whether you go there as any one of those characters, if you stay around too long, you linger too much, they end up trying to murder you. They end up trying to kill you and counting you as an enemy, even if you aren't Franklin, or Franklin who's had problems with them in the past in the story mode. So it's like, what the fuck? We can't even go there without being hassled by an enemy, but why would an enemy gang now have it? But I could see, it's like 20 or so years later, fine, but why are all the houses completely different? Like, they tore all the houses down and built completely new, different looking houses? Don't really understand why Rockstar would do that. I don't know. Number 8 on the list, flying is a little too awkward at times. Now, this one is kind of a petty complaint, just like a lot of the other ones on here. It's not that I really hate the flying, it's just that they put in a mechanic that kind of makes it where the wind is blowing your helicopter. That sounds really wrong, but a helicopter or plane, and it kind of makes you, shake, and you're kind of like, what the fuck? And you can't control it for shit, and it's kind of annoying, to be honest. I wish they wouldn't have put that in. Number 9, the lack of customization for certain cars and trucks. Now, the customization for cars is pretty extensive for certain vehicles, but there's some vehicles you take in, and you can't put any extra body panels, any extra grills, nothing. The only thing you can upgrade is the performance, the color, the rims, and sometimes the exhaust pipes, and that's about it. So I was really disappointed with that. And number 10, Chop doesn't get into any car. Now, this is one I had to think of a 10th thing to complain about, and I guess number 10 would be the least one I give a shit about is Chop. They made it seem like Chop would go anywhere with you, but unless you have a certain vehicle, which I think he'll only get into convertibles, Chop will not get into the car. So, I was hoping I'd be able to cruise with Chop everywhere, but it's just not as good as it looked. Alright, so that is the pros. Next up is that was the cons, I'm sorry. Next up is the pros. So number 1, driving cars is better. Now, unlike the motorcycles, ATVs, and flying, driving vehicles in this game is extremely fun. I really had a great time with it. I really, really enjoyed it. And I thought that the driving was a lot more fun, fluid, and way more realistic than 4. Map is amazing in detail and size, pretty much self-explanatory. The size of the map is amazing, and the detail put into such a massive map is one hell of an accomplishment by Rockstar, so great job, guys. Number 3, buying properties is a fun feature in the game for sure. I do like owning stuff like the cinema. You can buy cinemas, you can buy a porn shop, you can buy a hangar, a helipad, all that stuff. That's really fun. Number 4 was from the story, the voice acting, and the story was phenomenal. Definitely some of the best voice acting Rockstar has ever been able to conceive. I'm very, very impressed with that. Number 5 was buying and storing cars. This was a huge plus. You could store cars in GTA 4, but not nearly as many as this game, even though there should have been more ability to store more cars than just 6, like I said in the cons earlier in the video. It was still a real plus. Plus, being able to go online and buy like cars, planes, army vehicles through your phone instead of having to try to find them online. Like, where's this car hidden? Where's this car hidden? You could just do it like that. So that was pretty cool to be able to buy those. Number 6, animals. Yeah, this is definitely a big feature in GTA 5 that they promoted heavily, was that you can hunt for animals. There's animals like a mountain lion, little dog type things, dogs, birds, deer, all kinds of different animals, fish, sharks. So that was a big plus. Number 7, jets, fighter jets, attack buzzard, and massive planes. Now this was a huge thing that was missing from GTA 4 because GTA 4 was so small they didn't put in any big planes or anything like that. Well, in this game, private jets, the fighter jet, like when we had the Hydra jet from San Andreas, returns, but it, with an update. The attack buzzard, which has been popular in games lately. And then, of course, the massive plane. It's always fun to fly a 747 Boeing, something huge like that. It's always really cool to fly that over the city. Number 8, skydiving made a return. Now, this was pretty cool. They did have it in DLC in GTA 4, but it didn't come in the stock game, so it is nice to see that that's featured in the game for free instead of having to pay DLC for that. Number 9, you can buy a hangar at the airport, allowing you to enter without obtaining a wanted level. So as I noted earlier in buying properties, you can buy an airplane hangar, which actually allows you to go into the airport and not be fucking wanted. So you can go in there and steal any plane you want. You can drive around there as long as you want. You'll never be wanted. I tried it out after I bought the hangar. And yeah, so if you guys want to run around the airport without being fucked with by the 5-0, by the fuzz, if you will, just buy the hangar for $1.3 million and you can be hassle-free there. So that was a big plus. That's what I hated about GTA 4, is you could never go there without being bugged. And number 10, weapons, sound, and film are realistic, plus they have customization. This was another big selling point for a lot of fans of the Grand Theft Auto series, was that they brought in weapons, but the weapons were a lot more realistic sounding, but so you can customize them. So they had a pretty decent variety of guns, and they also have gun DLC coming in the future, so it's really nice to have plenty of guns to play around with, plus plenty to customize, not to mention melee weapons, sticky bombs, and all this kind of stuff. So overall, the game is an amazing game. I definitely think it's Rockstar's best game to date. In my opinion, this game, from a 1 being horrible to a 5 being fantastic, amazing, I would easily give this game a solid 5 out of 5 stars. I definitely recommend it to any fan. Even if you haven't been a fan in the past games, this game could turn you on to the Grand Theft Auto series. Anyway, you guys, this is Keith Carnes. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you're enjoying Grand Theft Auto 5. And if you had any, kind of weren't sure if you wanted GTA 5, I hope this helped you make up your mind. GTA 5 is very fun. Go ahead and steal some cars and kill some cops. Grand Theft Auto 5 is out now. Peace.